Manhood, brought to you in part by Reboot Sports Drink.
So welcome to another episode of Manhood, and we always say it's really about a conversation, and a real conversation, a genuine conversation, to meet you where you're at and to meet us where we are at and think we are. And I always learn after these episodes or these conversations more about the topic than the research that we put in prior. So this is Manhood. The topic today, a very interesting one. What does it mean to be cool? What is it? Is it manly to be cool? And to get into that conversation, always a pleasure. Johanse IODK, behavior change consultant. Another good friend, Andre Chukwan, also known as Dre, Trini Jungle Juice. Many of you have been cool posing for those pictures that he's taken across the years in this business, and giving you an image of being cool. And we'll define what that is in our interpretations shortly. And another partner, the one and only Ken Simmons, media personality. So, gents, being cool.
All right. When you told me about the topic, when I heard the word cool, the first thing that came to mind was somebody in sunglasses, right? and I analyzed why was that image the first thing. And then I remember as a child, when the term cool started to be cool, right? It was somebody who in a shades had a certain kind of look. Yeah. So the first thing I thought about was the look at first. A look is, or cool is, it could be defined as a look. So I'll start there. Andre, tell me your thoughts.
Let me
Oh, the man, you know.
For the writing.
Yeah, boy.
Listen,
it's too bright in here.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I could if I could bring my sunglasses inside the session or not, you know. They say it's not cool to wear sunglasses inside. But now, cool for me is a swag. Having a personal swag or demeanor that sets you apart, where people see your individuality. As they look at you, they're like, something different about that person. Something that stands out, something unique about that one person. That's that X factor. That's cool for me, having that X factor.
Okay. Yeah. So someone who does not toe the line, but has his own individuality and style, that he's able to set a trend. So basically, you're looking at someone and say, hey, you know, that's different. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess from a visual point, we can start there.
Right. So this first segment, we want to break down our own thoughts generally of what does it mean to be cool, right? And again, if I feel that there are times that we feel we're going off topic or the real intent of the topic, I try to bring it back. And so I want to rephrase, like, what does it mean to be cool now? From the going around the room, it seems that so far we're putting a positive connotation to it. You know, whether it's a sense of dress, I totally understand when you meant the sunglasses, even somebody lighting a cigarette. You know, all of these things were meant to be cool. It's cool to take a drink. Depends on the car you're driving. And as you said, you know, in other words, sometimes being cool is that person that stands out, that bad boy.
Right.
You know, that person who goes against. So so are we saying then that cool is positive, or can cool can lead to negative, or is it what
I guess it can be a mixture of both. It all depends on how the individual looks and how they define cool. But I think to be branded as someone is cool, you have to push the envelope. You can't toe the line, as I mentioned. And there are times that you would do things, you exhibit negative traits, but in our world, like let's just say if we are direct or sometimes condescending, it might be offensive to some, but other, hey, I like his assertiveness, or his bold approach and no holds bars, you know, tell it as it is. But for somebody else, it may be crude, crass, offensive.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, He's the realist. He real cool. I like that. I could relate to them.
Right.
Right? And somebody could see it as negative. So I think it's a combination of both. But mainly it's about owning it. It's about individuality. It's about standing out and being separate and
Right.
apart.
So cool isn't necessarily being zen. Cool is not necessarily like you come into a
no.
room
It could be
and
anything.
make everyone feel better about themselves. Because to me, someone who's cool, I would say, listen, in that environment, I liked how they presented themselves, how they made me feel, how they made others feel, and your general demeanor and to how your outlook was on the world in a particular situation. So whereas someone might shout and cuss and carry on, that person might have just really handled the situation differently. And therefore, everyone, apart from their own spirit and their comfort levels, is all at a level of almost humility and being humble. And so I would correlate cool with humility and being humble.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Whereas if someone's being left feeling a particular way and another person feels, boy, that person was assertive and strong, is that really cool when someone else is feeling bad?
Well,
about
let me combine the two because it's a word, right?
Mm-hmm.
A word is a difficult thing at times to define because a word have high context.
Yes.
And because cool, the literal meaning of cool is more like it's not cold and it's not hot. So it's cool, right? If you're going literal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when we add it as a slang means there's a human dynamic. There's a high context meaning by culture, by person, by family, by country, etc., etc. So that could be a little difficult when we define it, but we're still defining it. So let me see if I could add the two. Cool is a feeling they could give somebody. That person real cool and calm boy. But adding what Ken say, Ken, you're saying somebody who show up themselves. You're saying a
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
So it may not be assertive and let me be a little semantic. When you say assertive don't necessarily have a force versus assertive have a surety.
Right.
So aggressive have a force. So let we go in degrees. Aggressive, assertive, passive. Right? And then we put in cool somewhere there. So a cool person is somebody who show off themselves with a style. So you don't have to come across aggressive, but they could just be cool and I know who I am. That's the
Yeah.
assertion. I know what I stand
So
for.
self-assuredness.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're talking to that person real cool boy. They don't have to, let's just say a challenge. Well, what you wearing that for? What you wearing shades
Right,
inside for?
right.
Yeah.
They're not getting defensive. They just say, well, I like shades. If you understand what I say.
Yeah.
So it's a cool, calm feeling, but still, you're sure of yourself.
Right.
And you're assertive.
So far we spoke about cool, the image, and it is cool, the demeanor. So you have, as you say, somebody come in the room and he calm the room down, everybody heated, say, yo, calm fellas. There's no big deal. He just making everything cool now, right? He simmer things down and then they have cool the image. Yo, I see Marshall, he had a new shirt and a thing, man look real cool.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So if I want to be, but there's also cool that you're trying to be cool and you're doing the things to
Yeah.
look and be cool. So you may give off, you might decide, let's like go and put on the tattoo sleeve. You know, I might dye my hair blonde. I might, well, you know, whatever that version is of us. You know, you might grow out and mark your bit. All the different things that's perceived in the environment, because those things in another environment mightn't be cool.
Right.
But in the particular environment you want to belong to, or you want to be perceived as cool, you may do things to fit in. So again, and I use our word fit in because we talked about self-assuredness and the confidence. But if you're trying to doing things that are to fit in, then really and truly you're not confident because you're not standing out subconsciously, or you're not standing out innately. You are trying to be something, and by putting that on, how long can you really keep that up, and what really is your true demeanor?
No, but that's a good point though, because I find, like, personally, you're either cool or you're not. You can't try to
Talk
be
to
cool.
them, Andrew.
Right.
Talk to them.
You know what I mean? There are people
Well,
fighting
you
to
could
be
try,
cool.
because try
yeah.
means you're not accomplishing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But
But
I
you know,
like where you're going
the
with
people
this.
who set out to, hey, I'm gonna be cool. Like, you're either cool or not, as far as I'm concerned. But you could try, but you probably will fail. Is that you have it, you don't have it.
And you could do everything that you can to be a better person for certain things, and that in itself might make you cool by trying to be calmer in a situation, trying to look at another person's perspective, trying to speak to people differently, trying to be more open about a scenario. And by doing those things, you could start to become cooler.
Yeah.
But inherently, if you have certain things that in your societal influences or even upbringing that's made you a particular way hard, and that comes to the other point, when we talk about cool, is cool also being, a bad man?
Well, I think
To
from
the-
what
to
you're
the-
saying
to the
so
college
far,
girls.
cool seems like a vibration. And let me say why I say that, right?
Yeah.
Is that you say either you're cool
Yeah.
or you're not.
Right.
And we can't try to be cool. And when somebody trying too hard, we know, right? It don't matter what style.
Yeah.
Even if you win, I just give an example. All the colors that don't match. If you know you like that, something about the vibe,
Right.
you will realize
Can you rock it?
they're cool,
Yeah.
right? It's like when you see somebody wearing something and you see them wearing that, but somehow they're rocking it good. But somebody else may
not
wear the
happening.
same thing.
And fail.
So I looking at it now as a vibration of going back with the assurity, sure of yourself. No matter what your style is, your demeanor, your socioeconomic status,
Right.
whoever you are, if you have a certain surety about it, then people would feel your coolness.
Yeah.
The coolness that we are referring to, sometimes people may look upon somebody who is cool as somebody who is a pushover. So they don't have, or they may have an opinion. Yes, not to say that they don't have an opinion. They have an opinion, but they will not voice their opinion for the sake of pleasing others. And yeah, they're real cool. They will do that for you. Yeah, no problem. He will do that. But yet, at the same time, you're not fully expressing yourself, who you are, and to me, you're weak. And in an attempt to try to please people, you're more of a people pleaser, and it is not serving the purpose for which you set out to be, which is cool. So for me, coolness has a lot to do, as we mentioned before, individuality, and you'll be able to express yourself in a non-judgmental way, but at the same time, you're expressing your individuality and your confidence in all aspects and in all facets.
So you also mentioned a point earlier that we would definitely want to touch on, but we need to take a short break. And when we come back, you mentioned, we all have our understandings of what cool is, because that's it from a sort of initial meaning. And I'm sure when we start to share deeper, we may leave here feeling differently about it. And one of the things you mentioned, Ken, is being cool being a man?
I honestly think that
I don't wait to answer that now. I want to take a break, but I want to. It was quite profound, and really want to discuss that. So we take a short break. When we come back, we continue to talk about what does it mean to be cool. What does it mean to be you? And remember, we are not speaking on behalf of all men or cool people. We are just a few men. Some
cool and some
cool,
not.
some
not. Some not.
Well, I mean, we might not have the whole Crips.
yeah, like
Crips
some people, some people.
the Crips outfit, as they say, and the manicured or the whatever what was it called? The groomed.
Go to the
groomed.
break now. Go to
the
the
groomed beard. So, we come back with this cool guy.
Yeah, he have manicure too. Yeah, Welcome back to Manhood. So, Robert, you asked a question before the break, and in my personal opinion, we're talking about cool, what it means to be cool. And I honestly believe that a true man will not be regarded as someone as being cool.
Tell them. Because I think we all here like,
One,
huh?
because the facets and the characteristics of a man will call for him in intervals to make tough and unpopular decisions. And in those scenarios, he may be regarded as but he will do it for the benefit, hopefully, of not just himself, but those he has jurisdiction and care over. And that's just the reality of it.
So it's a perception thing then.
So it's a perception.
Subjective.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I say. So cool is not someone who's just passive. Okay, go ahead and you push over, but it's individuality, owning it, being confident, not being disrespectful, being assured and assertive, but at the same time you're giving and you express empathy, and you're able to now put yourself in other people's shoes. A leader, a man, can be cool, but at the same time have a caring and loving heart.
So a man can be cool then?
Yes,
So
but,
you're
but he
contradicting
will
yourself.
not in a society. In a society that looks on someone in a particular way as being cool.
Yeah.
There are times that he will not be regarded as cool. They say when he could be.
Regarded to other persons, but in terms of to the family, he could still be regarded as being cool because those who he loves and is protecting.
But they will say
he's
you
still-
don't know him, they will say you don't know him because if he's pushed a certain way, he cool way, because we believe that cool is one particular state, not knowing that that's not how life works. Life is
So
not just
cool
full
in
of.
that case is that the persons always feel, the recipient around that person is always feeling good
Right.
about it. And the moment that they feel in any way targeted or something doesn't go their way,
Right.
that person's
or they
then
feel
not cool.
uncomfortable. And rightly so. If I am true to myself and I'm true to the people around me, there are things that I would say and do that sometimes it may feel uncomfortable, but it's for the greater good of you.
Just now, Ken, what Ken was saying, you're saying he was contradicting himself, right? I don't think so, I don't think he was contradicting himself. Going back to what I was saying before, and I think there's a problem when you're trying to consider somebody cool or not. The word cool veered away from the dictionary meaning. So therefore, we attach different meanings to it. So in one light, a cool person, right, is somebody who know themselves, etc. If a man is a cool person, that could be so subjective, because I've heard people say he real cool under tough circumstances, which of course is a positive thing.
Correct.
Right? And then because it's a slang and people use slang however they want to, a man who is passive, anytime anybody say anything, well, cool. I'm cool with this. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
So he
It's
becomes
like a woman saying it's fine.
he becomes a cool guy, right?
Yeah.
But his coolness is he just taking anything.
He's weak.
But on
Yeah.
one end, cool could be he have everything together because under pressure he real cool. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's the same word we're using, but because we could attach different meanings to it,
Yeah.
that's where sometimes we run into a little difficulty.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
I still feel it's contradicting.
Okay.
Contradicting to
And here it is,
the
I
fact
cool with that.
And correct. And we all cool. We all sitting down here very
Yeah.
cool.
No, but-
and the whole thing is the topic in terms of what is it to be cool is different to what does it mean to be cool. And when it means it's four guys sitting down here with our own opinions that I respect. We all cool. Even you, Johanse. And and I want to get into the fact that cool, as we said, could be a perception. It's subjective. It's the way you dress. I take Andre's point where the one thing is you can't try to be cool. Well, you could try to be cool, but then you're not cool. If
Right.
you're trying
too
and
hard.
it's not coming out,
Failing.
organically,
You're failing.
failure, right?
Failure.
I see people in my days of living in New York that would just shave their head here, just and then have and twist here, and then they go out and they think that. But that's a form of expression, because even doing that is a form of expression, but it's not necessarily cool.
Right.
It could be that they're expressing themselves out of
Or trying to follow
or
someone.
trying to follow someone, which means what I want to come down to is that being cool or being the perception of cool can also come from insecurity.
True.
And as a man, I don't want to be regarded as being cool.
Tell me.
That's good.
No, I don't want to be regarded as being cool because again, generally the perception, because that's not how you should define me personally. Yes, there are cool aspects of me, but that is a minuscule understanding of manhood and who I am supposed to represent. Me, Ken Simmons. So yes, there are times that I would not say anything. I would listen. There sometimes I would give way. Sometimes not all battle is to be fought. And as Johan says, when you in the midst of a storm, a raging storm, and you're able to be calm and collective and make decisions under pressure, that speaks of strength. So when they say, "Hey, Ken cool," right? No, Ken is a man. I ain't cool because I can be rough around the edges, but trust and believe that you may not see the greater good now. And in the dealing with people, I try to deal with people with respect. Right? I try to say things that don't offend you, but I will speak the truth. And there's a philosophy that I live by, from Shakespeare: to thine own self be true, and you will not be false to any man. Authenticity is the highest frequency. Be yourself.
This man giving closing statements
Same,
already.
same,
These
same,
little
same.
these little nuggets. These little nuggets.
Like we hear from man.
Yeah, no, and
Andrew, you've seen
I just,
a lot.
Yeah, I have just two points based on what I've heard. One, being cool doesn't just belong to men, right? Man, woman, child, dog, cat. I've seen cool dogs on TikTok. So cool is across the board.
Yeah.
It's not just a man. And then two, you could be cool, but that don't mean you always have to keep your cool. You know, I could I could look cool. I could be cool to everybody, but there are times when I could blow off.
Right.
But I don't mean I'm not cool. It doesn't mean there are times I have to deal with something in a way that mightn't be cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
in your, I mean, you've been to several hundreds of, I could even say probably thousands of events.
Yeah.
All across from all these different Caribbean events, and seeing many people in all these environments, everybody trying to be cool.
Everybody. I saw a Jamaican brethren in, I won't call the name any fat. I think he had on a robe. And I walk up to him and I say, "Yo, brethren, I can't keep up. Like your style on a whole different level. And what I gonna do? Like I'm making, being trendy now, Pekong." And he say, "Yo, don't try to be me, be you." He's like, "Don't try to be me. Don't keep up. Invent your own self." And I say, "Yeah, you're right. I'm not trying to, I'm just begging you up here, but he made a good point." Because that's what people see. They see people who they deem as cool and they want to then be that person, but don't be that person, be you, right? Always be you.
But
and
Andre,
then you become.
in being you, I mean, I take from what you're saying, you should always be sincere and genuine to yourself and to others. And in that sense, that to me is what being the epitome of cool would be.
Yeah.
Right? But we also follow style. We also see things, and we take bits of different things that we see, especially with the advent of social media, and we take bits of those things that we see, and it brings about our personality and our self-expression. And in that way, we are then regarded by someone else looking on as cool, So the fact that he's wearing a robe, right, is I'm sure it's not something that he's just decided, hey, I'm going to put on this Yves Saint Laurent or Gucci robe, or maybe from, I don't want to call any of these other places because you might get into trouble, but something of less cost to the regular party goer.
Right.
So he himself, as he come up with his own style, or as he decided, I want to make an impact and go out there and be. Sometimes we go so far from trying to be different that, of course.
So let me draw an analogy there and an example. Anybody here regards Kanye West as being cool?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
No. Borderline crazy.
Yeah, borderline crazy, but in his own way.
He went to football.
This is an example.
That's in the same caliber as the robe, right?
Yeah.
Because, and when you're talking about it, I was thinking about, because Robert was saying sometimes people could try to be too hard. And he was saying, be yourself. So, cool now have a qualifier, because let's just say he wore that robe once, right? The first fet. People could say, I'm to this man, but he trying too hard, he trying to be cool. But let's just say he wear a robe for the next year at every party.
Right.
You know what he'll be? He'll be a trendsetter. He'll be the man in the rope,
Yeah.
and he'll become cool.
That's his identity.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. Somebody who is individuality, we talked about that, having your own sense of style, you're confident. If you are truly cool, then at some point in time, I want to be like you. I want to adopt your style.
Mm-hmm.
But if I am doing something and nobody want to wear what I want to wear,
people want to be like Kanye West. Plenty people want to be like Kanye West.
Well,
Yeah,
to have his money, to have his money.
Correct.
Not
No,
to wear so many things that he wears.
I don't, let me tell you, I don't really like his style, you know. But I could acknowledge that he cool.
Yeah,
that
Kanye cool.
That I want, you know what? They take away my shoe label, so I walking in socks. I just give you an example now.
So
right?
he has his he has a sense of how he thinks. So we talked about coolness based on a look. So we made one to exhibit his behavior and how he operates and how he thinks in that regard. But in relation to some of the outrageous outfits and some of the things that he do, we don't want them. The majority of sane people don't want to do that.
No,
I
but
think sometimes they wear stuff that they're so trying to stand out or not fit in or be seen or make a statement that sometimes they decide, listen, I'm going to pull along this, or you have something canvas in here, I'm just going to take that and wrap it around my head, right? And I'm going to tear this pair of jeans off here and put on and pull up a stockings here, and I'm going to go out with that because I am ye, or I am whoever else the person might be. And people looking at me, like a Johan say, are going to come now and say, hey,
I could do that.
I could do that. I could wear that. I want to be like ye.
Yeah.
You know?
No. And I say
Kanye-
to be like him, not be like him in terms
But
of
it's
what
insecurity.
but what he wears versus the courage.
Yeah.
No, man, you're
to
talking
be
about
yourself.
courage.
To be yourself.
Kanye's
yourself.
originality is
Hey.
what sets him as cool. His madness is a different thing. His bipolar business is a different thing. But his originality is his cool factor.
Yeah.
He don't give a about what people think
even
about
his
what he
beats,
do.
Even the beats, right? Some of his beats even off key,
Yeah.
but off key in time. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he does things differently, just like anybody else. You know, we could say. Let me see. I like Cristiano Ronaldo, right?
Right.
Because as a footballer,
Finally, we could agree on something.
as a footballer, he
All is
goes beyond the football. He have an individual style. When he feel, he always want to look pretty. He always want to make sure he put together. Even now, I don't know, he's 30, almost 40 now, right? 38, right? He's almost 40. But he wants to keep a certain look, right? Versus compared to some other footballers. He stand out and he's different. But at first, people used to say he too hard, he too rigid, he too thing, he too whatever. But now it becomes something cool. So I just give an example that. And I'm going back to the point, as men, right? And I think as men, we should be sure of ourselves, right? I mean, we may not be perfect because there are some situations where we may be insecure, etc. But for the most part, to be sure of ourselves. And part of being sure of ourselves is managing the emotions. So we talk about keeping you cool in certain situations. But also, as a man, if you have your own personal style, right? Just now I see you put your glasses in the glasses case. And his glasses case light up, you know. Right? I never even see that before.
Show them, Andre. Show them. Let's see. Because we can't be told about something we not
I don't know why it lights up. But I just thought, Daryl cool. Daryl cool. So somebody might say, wait, there's a glasses case. He trying too hard. But again, it's perception, but I like it. And it's different.
But I want to come back just for 30 seconds about Ye, right? I like some of his music, some of it. But would I say that, according to Andre, he doesn't give a peep, right? No, that's fine. Yeah. But I think that not giving a crap is also adjusted to the stardom. So he knows in the not giving a crap, a lot of people are going to agree with him and find that aspect of him cool. But if you take away who he is back in the day when he was still in, Dave Chappelle or Jamie Foxx or any of these people room still trying to give a beat, is he still going to be pushing that whole I don't give a crap thing? Because,
without knowing Kanye West personally, I would say yes, because to even reach in a room with certain people, I don't care about where I come
You
from.
still care.
No, I
When
don't
you're
care
not
about.
caring, you
listen,
care.
I don't care about where I come from. I don't care about socioeconomic status. I want to be the greatest. I don't care about limits.
No, but you
I don't
can't say care
and you
about
go in.
something. What I'm trying to say, the not caring is still caring about something. Might be that, but you still care about something.
Right.
We getting a bit semantic, which is all right. Which is fine.
That's
which
fine.
is fine.
That's
which
fine.
is fine. Right? I
you
feel
see-
Kanye West. If you're watching this, Robert Dumas has something against it. He's not.
I
cool.
don't have anything against
He's not
him.
cool
That's
with it.
I don't have anything against. But
Wait
you
till
go
I
to a
get my
football
money
match
up.
and you wear a black cloth over your face and you behave a particular way.
It's just.
I have no judgment on him.
Just to get attention, to have the paparazzi follow him, for him to fill up the tabloids with all sorts of information. And as I said, his approach is his approach. But for me, I will never want to dress and to have his sense of style.
I want the sneakers though. I want the Yeezys or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Who in here has never had a ye moment? The man of his own thing. I have had a ye moment several times.
Define
And
that.
nobody fighting at them. What I
No,
will
define
find out is we gotta go
what's
to
a
a break.
ye moment.
When you
and then we'll go.
when you step out of yourself and you had no idea what you did, but after you check yourself, you realize I should have not done that.
I think we all had that moment at some
You
point.
did
in
something
time.
you shouldn't have done, but in the heat of the moment, you just did it anyway because you're acting on emotions. And then later on, you say,
yeah.
I beeped out.
There's a thing before we go to the break in marketing, right? The haters watch too. And celebrities also understand that, hey, I might have out of my 50 million followers, 20 million might be following me just to hate on me. But the marketers, and when they put out a product, all 50 watching. So they welcome haters. So in the not giving a crap on all the behavior, and so you get that attention. You still get people watching, whether they're for you or against you, they're watching. And ultimately, that's what's important in terms of in that marketing.
And just to bring it back before we go to the break, I just think being cool, you cannot say that you are truly cool if someone does not look at you and want to exhibit and be like you in some form or fashion. It's like, yeah, boy, yeah, that will pique your interest in some form or fashion, whether it's your sense of style, whether it's how you handle yourself under pressure, how you deal with people, right? You have to be attractive to other people based on your lifestyle.
You can't title yourself as cool. Other people have to determine that
Correct.
you are cool, and by that they have to want
it's
to
cool,
be
It's cool to go to
like
the break,
you,
right? It's cool to
or-
go to the break.
Or, let me finish my point, or, because that's not cool, right? But you can take a drink of that if you want, because that's cool if you take a drink in the reboot.
Right.
It is not cool, you're not cool, or it is not cool if somebody's offended or if they don't want to be like you.
Yeah.
Because you can't say, hey, I am cool.
Yeah. But in speaking your truth and being honest, sometimes somebody may take offense, and at that moment they may not view you as cool. But in retrospect and looking in the future,
Holistically, they'll find so.
they'll find so in the long run.
I agree with you. So you still want to be cool? Because you said you don't want to be cool.
Men,
Before we go to
a true man should not be defined as cool.
You heard it from Ken. He don't want to be cool. And your hands are trying to be cool. All right, we're taking our break.
Welcome back to Manhood. So we're discussing what it means to be cool. And we first started off defining if cool is a look, if cool is a feeling. And then we went into whether it's cool to be a man. What the coolness mean to be a man. And we have Ken saying, as a man, he don't even want to be considered cool. But as we going into this segment now, we getting a better understanding. And for you all to leave with a definition or even closer definition from each person, what exactly is cool? Because as I was saying before, cool is a word that's a slang. And when it's a slang, is subject to culture, is subject to meaning, is subject to interpretation. So we still trying to understand and putting effort into understanding what exactly cool is.
And just to touch there, Johan, say, it's not just a matter of any understanding of what it means to be cool, is also for persons to also address some of the ramifications of being cool or trying to be cool or being seen as cool, or people who are behaving cool, how you can go from 0 to 100.
Right.
Because ultimately, when we bring up topics like this on manhood, it's to address our behaviors and for us to see ourselves or to see other people and have a better understanding so that we ourselves can be better. Notice I'm not saying cooler, we can be better. Because that's what we want to do. We always want to strive to be better.
Better as men.
Better as men, better as brothers. And a lot of times you see people going out to be cool. And you mentioned it, Andre, where you know there's cool and there's trying to be cool. And if you are not through and through at that point of whatever that stage of coolness is, if that level of coolness is, I am not going to raise my voice, or I'm not going to shout, or I'm not going to get aggressive in a party or an event or in a dinner setting or in a family gathering, then you have to maintain that. But if you're not at peace with that and you go out in a party and you're there doing all the proverbial cool things, and someone comes, or a pigeon come and crap on your head, or somebody throw water or open a bottle, or somebody run into you, how are you then behaving? You could go from 0 at that point to irate, to rage, to want to fight.
So from cool to uncool.
Yeah.
Perceived uncool, because it's not really in you to just turn the other cheek at that point. You've come in there trying to be something. And if you haven't settled with that thought, because you could try, but you've settled with wanting to be better, or you could be trying for other reasons that aren't genuine.
Right. So you said wanting to be better, and nothing is wrong with that. We want to belong to somewhere, to a group of people, to a tribe. So in our pursuit of wanting to belong, for one reason or the other, we didn't feel that way growing up. We felt outside, and we want our life to mean something. In an attempt to try to fit in, we wouldn't say cool, but we want to fit in. We want to be accepted. So we tend to want to do things that we think that people will accept us if we do it. So nothing is wrong with trying to better yourself or wanting to be a tribe. But when you deny yourself how you feel deep down inside, for the sake of trying to connect with a tribe, you lose yourself trying to find yourself, if that is even possible. So,
and guys, I also want to talk about, as you said that about fitting in and being part of a tribe. All of these things, Ken, I really appreciate, and it comes down to also in having a discussion about the topic initially for this particular conversation here on manhood. It was also, is being a bad man or a bad boy considered cool? It's trying to be that when you're out and you know.
What do you define as bad boy? Or is it that if you are causing harm and distress for your personal gain, that could never be cool. All right, so that could never be cool. Now you could be termed as a bad boy, a little rough around the edges, and then it all depends on the perception and who looks at you. There are some ladies who just love that, to say, hey, is gunman or nothing, right? And they think that's cool, but generally, if you are for fairness and justice and not harming other people at their expense, that could never be defined as cool.
And bad man by what I was correlating to cool was more of someone who plays like a player.
Oh, right. Okay. Because that's different,
That's
Because if a player and a rude boy, bad boy is two different things, right? So again, no, I wouldn't say that that a man who is known as waving his wand all over the place, have multiple sexual partners,
And children.
and children could not, in my mind, could be regarded as cool. You can't be cool because again you're selfish, and you can't be cool if you're selfish.
Yeah.
And I want to let me kind of define a little bit when I say I don't want to be regarded as cool, because people could misinterpret that, and I don't need to explain myself. But for those in the back who probably don't understand what I say, when you are cool, you are lukewarm. I think it was said you need a hot, no cold, and as a man, for you to be on the fence is not a good look, right? And realistically, there are times that you have to make decisions, as I said previously, that will cause for you to lift your voice and say, hey, and be stern. No, don't do that. I have to tell you as it is, so and so and so, right? And again, we don't equate that type of behavior as being cool. You know, and Andre rightly said it. I mean, he said there are times that, nothing wrong. There's a time under the sun for everything. A time to laugh, a time to cry, a time to be angry, a time to be sad. So that's why I don't want to be regarded as being cool. I'm a man, and if you check out statistically, every highly successful man, right, would not be regarded as cool, but you don't have to be cool, but you could be humble. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be cool, but you could be humble with it. And humility is a state of mind.
Andrea, see you there. Good.
It's so many layers.
Yeah.
It's so many layers. How does the saying go? Good guys finish last.
No, nice guys.
Nice guys finish last, right? So I want to use that analogy because when we were younger in school, the bad boys, the sweet man,
Joe
men who had the
Grind,
image,
yeah.
they was getting all the girls. They were cool at the time. And the nerds, or the, whoever you was calling stuff, was getting nothing. And then I watched that flip in the 20s and 30s where you're watching the bad boys from school now, sprangers, don't have no good job, wayward, have nothing going for them, and you're watching the nerds, become the cool men with the hottest girls, wife now, good jobs. They became cool. And I saying, look at these men that I'm watching from school saying, them was me. And we were the nerds. And now we went in. The now cool. So it flipped. And so that's what you're saying. I like the fact that you don't need to be, humble and all that. Like everything that was cool at one age didn't become cool at the next sector of your life, right?
So if you're making deals, because as a man, if you're going into a room with businessmen and women, and you have to make deals and negotiate, sometimes you have to speak up, you have to do certain things. So coolness is not a matter of being passive and laid back, because there are times that we will interchange and we would move. So that's why I say don't say Ken is cool. Ken is a man, and Ken is true to what he believes.
I want people to say Dre, you're cool. I like when people say that man cool, he's cool.
So I love how we could intellectualize the word cool. And that's important because as men, we all are different men, and we speak into different men. And each person may have a different definition. And we're not trying to tell you exactly how to be cool or what exactly cool is. We have in our conversation so that you could interpret, take pieces from us, and even create your own cool. And I love it because I agree with a lot of what Ken's saying and disagree. I agree with a lot of it and disagree, and so forth and so on. And that's what we're here for. And I think the ability to be yourself amongst a world of social media that coming at you, people who coming at you to be different, to be the same, or to be something that you are not. The ability to remain yourself, for me, I think that is what the coolness is.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at everybody's style. Everybody have their own sense of style, but it fits. So I say, Ken looking cool, you looking cool, especially with our glasses case, right? And Robert have his unique style, and that's cool. And I like that because
For me, my style right now is whatever fits and whatever I have at the time. You know, remember I come in, you know, so
But-
you know, it might mean what this. You know, I want to flex a Gucci.
no,
I
but
just say.
it's still because the way you carry it
Right.
is cool. The way you carry it
I
is
appreciate that,
you,
brother.
right? And I enjoying it. I enjoying this. And men, don't try to be cool, meaning you're trying to be somebody else, but find what is your cool.
Yeah. So what about the band?
I wanted to. I just want, because I'm conscious of time and I don't want us to go off taking things that could be in our nuggets and in our wrap up.
Right.
So this is that era where we take everything, Andre, and we wrap it into a nice bow and present it in the present and present it in the way that we want to communicate what our intention is today. And we've come to the understanding to what it means to be cool to us. And again, what I started off believing or thinking, I applaud you and I thank you, gents, for giving me once again another perception, another outlook as to what it is. So I'm going to start off with regards to the Nuggets because, Ken, I didn't think when you mentioned it I would agree with it initially about I don't want to be cool, and I want to contextualize that to say first that being cool, in my opinion, or cool by the definition, is also comforting. When something is at a cool temperature, it is related to because someone else is cool might be someone else is hot or someone else is cold. So when normally somebody says something is cool, it's at a temperature that they are comfortable at, and it's pleasant. And I would like to say that to be cool is to be genuine, to be true to yourself. And once you're genuine, and that's coming from a good place, because I don't think inherently anybody wants to be bad, right? And once it's coming from a good place, then that would exude to others, and others would then feed off of that energy, feed off of that spirit. And those that are not, once you're coming from a good place, you don't want them there around you in the first place. You know, you want to cut those ties, move on to another chapter in your life. And so I would say that, do I want to be cool? Do I want to be liked? Ultimately, I'd be lying if I told you no. What I want to do is be the best person that I can be, and to make sure that I leave a room better than I found it, and to know that I've left people with a positive impact, and therefore doing that in itself is positive for myself, and I'll feel good about myself, and I would feel cool.
From what you're saying, I don't think, for me personally, I don't want to be regarded as cool. I don't want anybody to think I'm cool, but I want to be cool. And let me explain what I mean, especially pulling from everybody, because it gave me a different perspective. As a man, I want to be able to adapt and adopt to any situation and be myself and remain authentic. Mm-hmm. And to me, not necessarily if somebody define me as that, but for me is I want to be cool. So if I have, let's go all scenarios. As a man, I have to take care of, let's say I have a sick relative and I have to do that, right? I want to be cool enough to make sure and do that. If with children, I want to be cool enough to deal with that. If I get $2 million, I want to be cool enough to be able to manage it well. If I have $2, I want to be cool enough to be able to manage it well. So cool for me is my definition of being able to adapt and keep that cool no matter what the scenario is. But I don't really matter to me if people think that I am cool.
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback on that, and say, because being cool, again, just be original. Be 100% authentic. Be yourself. And I could say that from me, right? Because I, like, when it comes to, say, women, people say, where's your game? I say, my game is having no game. I have no game, but that's my game. But that's me being myself. Hey, you're cool, but what is about you? I'm a nerd. So I'm a cool nerd, or am I just a cool person? You take it how you want it. If I'm nerdy to you, I'm that. If I'm the coolest cat in the room, I'm that. So just be you. Be 100% original. Don't try to copy or be someone else. Don't be a carbon copy. And one last message. My name is Andre Chukwan, and I am not cool, but yet I'm cool.
What a healthy discussion. You know, wanting to be cool could be regarded as wanting to be loved or liked or accepted. And I think everybody, deep down, if they're honest with themselves, they want to be accepted. But the reality is, not everybody is going to like us. Not everybody is going to accept us. That is why I say I don't regard it to be as cool, because because not everybody will regard me as cool, right? Some people may say, boy, some people say, boy, Ken real cool, Ken real down to earth, and then say, boy, Ken is right? It's people's opinion. But I think to kind of sum up what we came out of this discussion is that once you are true to yourself and stick to your principles and your values, is what will cause you to be as opposed to do, and out of being will come everything else. Once you regard humanity, the people around you, more than yourself, once you are not selfish in nature, automatically you're going to find what you're looking for. The things that we seek to pursue, sometimes it evades us, but in being, we gain what we desire. So I say that let's be as opposed to pursue, and let's consider others more than ourselves, be true to ourselves, and in results, we're going to find what we're looking for. And not be cool as a man, but be authentically yourself. Be you.
Thank you, Ken. Well said. Well received. Johan say, Andre, Ken, always a pleasure. We look forward to so many more of these conversations. And the wrap up to that is be you, be true. Yeah. And if that's being cool, then cool. So good.
Cool. This show is so cool.
Yeah?
I like
cool.
the show.
Yeah.
Manhood, brought to you in part by Reboot Sports Drink.